Hey everybody, welcome to InnRoads Plays. We are starting the second of our summer one-shot series, playing Dungeon World. And I've been able to sit with a group of awesome folks here, as you can see. We've got the fabulous Alyssa. Say hi, Alyssa.
Hey, how's it going?
We've got the estimable Alistair. Right
Hello,
here.
everybody.
We've got the sometimes muted Brent.
Hi.
And then we've got the fire starter Justin.
Whoosh.
So we're going to be diving into Dungeon World here in the next couple minutes, and wanted to kind of throw a quick intro and a quick hello and a quick thank you to everybody who has shown an interest in this series. We've got a whole bunch of other players who are going to be jumping in on other sessions. In fact, we've got Justin, who you'll be seeing again on our Stars Without Number game as well, and then Alistair is going to jump in on our D&D game later on this year. So that is about all we're going to show you guys, but we may have some highlights that will dazzle you with our fantastic roleplay, and then at the very end we'll come back and have our closing thoughts on the game and what we thought of the system and the play, what could have been good, what could have been better, and what was awesome. So thanks a lot for you guys being here, being with InnRoads, and being a part of this game.
We're so getting ambushed.
Yep. It's gonna be great.
One way or another.
Andre, what's your intent in all this?
Andre is going to let out a battle cry of, "What are you waiting for?" Which I believe has some in-game significance.
It might. What kind of significance does that?
It says when you cry your challenge to your enemies, roll plus con. On a 10+, they treat you as the most obvious threat to be dealt with and ignore your companions.
All right. Give me
Take a
roll,
+2 damage ongoing against them. That sounds painful, but Andre doesn't
well,
really...
for them. For them,
doesn't really.
definitely.
So that would be a 5 + 2, 7. And it says on a 7 to 9, only a few, the weakest or more foolhardy among them, fall prey to your taunting.
Okay. So two of them, actually the leader, what appears to be the leader, who's wearing this kind of weird tin-looking crown, points at you and mutters something in some kind of a strange tongue, and two of them peel off and start directing their spears towards the giant frame of Andre.
I love it when a plan comes together.
Yeah. So you head out the door, and in the on the other side of the courtyard near the stables, you see Rosen is emerging from the stables, and she's it looks like she's got blood on her hands, and she's kind of clutching, not so much clutching her middle, but she's kind of like huddled in on herself, and she's stepping away from the stables and looking over her shoulder fearfully, and then looking around for any assistance that she can find.
I'm sorry, who is it that's doing that?
Rosen, the really meek.
The
girl.
librarian gal?
Yeah, the librarian.
Right.
Falconian's gonna approach and probably discern reality.
Okay, go for it.
Figure out what's going on.
What else are the others doing?
I roll an 8. So...
Yeah. So you get
I'm actually gonna do the same thing, discern realities.
Okay.
We can once again team up on this. We've got a pattern.
That works.
Yeah.
It works. Teamwork. That's good.
Andre's doing his protect Falconian thing.
Ha ha.
What'd you
13.
Nice. All right.
Nice.
And Falconian?
So, I'm gonna go with what happened here recently.
Okay. She... Okay, so the central courtyard has a fresh layer of snow on it, right? You know, there's probably assignments given out for people to, you know, clear the courtyard of snow as best they can, but there's a fresh layer of snow from the previous evening and the storm that whipped through here. Banks of it are up on the colonnade, or the columns on the interior, and then banks of them up in the corners underneath the overhang near the walls. And you notice from multitude of different angles, that sort of thing, you're seeing footsteps or footprints in the snow. So it looks like someone or something has been in the courtyard recently. What did you end up getting, Falconian? How many questions did you get?
That was I had an 8, so that was my only one.
Okay. Ursula, you want to go next? And I see
Yes.
your roll there, Omen. Okay, go ahead.
All right, so I get to ask 3.
Okay.
Because 10 plus. Nice, nice. First, what should I be on the lookout for?
Let's see here. There's something that has scared Rosen quite severely. That's probably come from within the stables. So you probably want to be on a lookout for, I'll say, 2 things that kind of merge into one. First one, Rosen looks like she's on the edge of freaking out. And then the second half of that is what's freaking her out on the inside of that barn, or the inside the stables.
Hmm.
And it's a cat! Just kidding.
Yes. It's,
Just joking.
civil howling.
Yeah.
I think Rosen needs a
Terrifying.
hand.
What here is not as what it appears to be.
What's your assessment upon hearing the description? What do you hear from my description, or what do you see? What are you seeing?
There was footprints. Did you say which direction those footprints were coming from, or?
To me or Falconian?
What?
Me or Falconian?
Either one of you.
Sorry, rephrase the question.
I was asking which way the footsteps were coming from. The footsteps that were in the snow. Like, were they coming from somewhere other than the stables, or did they come from somewhere and go into it, or did they come out of the stable and then back in? Or...
That's what I would like to know too. I
Mm,
don't quite remember the answer to that, if there was one.
and with you guys combining forces there on that, looks like all of the above.
Okay.
So multiple entities?
Yeah.
So what did those what do these footsteps look like? Are they humanoid footsteps? Are they animal prints?
Yes.
I was going to say, I could do the hunt and track skill that I have that allows me to follow a trail of clues left behind by passing creatures to figure out something about them.
I like that. And while he's doing that, what's your third question?
Well, I never really got an answer for what here is not as it appears to
Oh,
be.
I'm sorry. So kind of what...
I guess about the footsteps was my second question. So.
Okay. So about the what's not as it seems. This is definitely not the normal foot traffic of this place. It seems too haphazard.
On my hunt and track roll, I got a 10. So
Nice.
I follow the trail until there's a significant change in its direction or mode of travel, and then I also, I'm gonna choose the gain a useful bit of information about my query.
Okay. So you can tell that some of the tracks come from the front gate. And then others of the tracks lead to a different room that you haven't visited yet.
Lead to or from?
To and from.
Did the ones coming from the other room go to the gate as well?
There's kind of a pattern that connects them, and then there's also footsteps. The same footsteps go to the stable as well.
Okay.
And then what was the
what
second
kind of
thing?
footsteps? What kind of? It's a useful bit of information about my query.
Oh, okay.
So, probably something identity related.
These footsteps look about the size of those mongrel creatures that you combated earlier.
Okay, I'm gonna say out loud. Those abominations appear to be inside, and ready my spear.
Okay.
Well, isn't that just a joy?
How about you, Omen? What's I see you rolled a 8 there, or 8 plus.
So total 9. I want to know what's about to happen.
There's more than likely that sound of her shrieking, of Rosen's shrieking, is probably going to wake everybody in the castle. I mean, you guys were just in a unique position to be able to get there first, but Malvanos will probably be here soon, along with the others. So if you've ever done any kind of like looking at things or investigating things, that sort of stuff, you may have a limited window before they get here.
I'm gonna go to the stable, see what's
I'm gonna be right there with him.
Okay. Let me turn it over to you guys. I want to hear what your impressions are of the system, and then what you thought was good about it, and what you think might need a little bit of tweaking.
As far as the system, I kind of like how it kind of lends itself to role playing, and you don't have, you have these moves on your sheet, then kind of there's these general things, and it's like, and it's geared to make it interesting. Like, there's a lot of times, some games like, well, I didn't roll enough. You guess something interesting happens. It's either good, really good, or unless you fail horribly, It's just, I think.
You gotta love those complications, huh? So, is there something that you think, Justin, that might be could be tweaked a little bit, either in the game style or something you might like to see more of?
I don't know. I mean, I think the system's fine. I like how it's not too constricting, but it's not too open. It kind of guides you. So, at the moment, I can't think of anything.
Okay.
It.
Well, if you think of something, then you can definitely share that in the tavern and stuff. Because I'll post something in the tavern that kind of bring you guys in on any conversations, and hopefully, if folks want to ask questions, they definitely can. All right, who wants to go next? Maybe Brent, you want to do it?
Sure. So I liked the system. I thought it was cool. I like the narrative kind of base of it, and there wasn't a whole lot for me to remember as far as modifiers and that sort of thing. Right. Probably my favorite parts were I liked finding the girl in the woods and fighting the goblins and all that kind of stuff, because she was sort of our touchstone with normality character, so we could kind of be bizarre and there was somebody normal to kind of contrast with our bizarreness. So I liked her, and I liked finding the monastery and all that kind of stuff. Probably my least favorite part was, and this is probably just me kind of creating a single dimension character, was the conversation in the monastery. I didn't have a whole lot to do other than kind of continue my barbarian creepy running gags.
Yeah.
But that's just kind of the nature of the character that I made. So
it worked for Andre.
Yeah, I mean, there's that part, but there's also, I mean, again, that could be something that I can kind of bring in, bring something in for you to do. Like, maybe there was something you might have noticed.
Yeah, or maybe if it was just shorter too, could have been.
Yeah, I agree.
Because if it was a campaign, I would have been taking notes and stuff. But it's kind of like, well, there's all these characters, and I'm probably not going to see them again for a while. So
right.
So I mean, I was still having fun and everything. I was just tracking my brain to think of something to do, and I just kind of eventually gave up. It's like, well, I'm just going to start making people hand necklaces.
Well, that brought some good humor.
And then the cliffhanger was just evil, which you are the evil cliffhanger master. So,
Truly.
but no, I had a great time. I really enjoyed it. I'm really happy that I did it, and I thought the interaction with the characters was really good too. You're all great.
Would you want to come back to this?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Woo!
Well, about the conversation, what I liked is I kind of thought when going to the Priory, okay, but this is kind of what we're going to come across, and as we met the characters, like, oh wait, maybe, I don't know who's good, bad, and it's almost shifted, and now it's like, oh.
Yeah.
So,
Somebody's bad.
You've got a funny sort of balancing act going on here.
yeah, it
Somebody's
wasn't.
bad, and somebody's got to pay.
Yeah, it wasn't obvious, and in fact, it got more confusing over time, and now it's like, and I don't think it'll be oh, was that guy all along? I never saw that coming. So it feels like it's not like, well, this guy's good, this guy's bad.
Yeah.
It feels more like everyone's, yes,
Yeah, we've got a very solid mystery here.
Yeah.
I find it hard to believe that you wrote this intending it to be a one-shot.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? There's a possibility that it could have been like, less interaction. I always have to plan for the potential of less interaction.
And that's tough. Yeah.
And that, if that happens, then yeah, this would have blazed into a one-shot, no problem. But
is how you do it, Jeff. You trap us.
Yeah. So
we're not really a one-shot
I remember
group.
saying it was a trap a long time ago.
It's a trap. Well, as I saw you guys interacting a lot online and really enjoying putting the characters together, at least I kind of drew from it that you were enjoying putting the characters together. I wanted to honor that with the potential of doing this further. So,
Nice.
Again, this is just an honor to your guys' creativity. I feed off of it and I build stuff. As you guys were building stuff, I had a city, Southhold. I had a priory that I created, but what religion it was, I didn't know. And then Alyssa came along and played a cleric, thank you, and gave me a whole religion to put in there. So I just inserted, plug and play. The idea that Omen is part of this nobility, this kind of fringe nobility, kind of gave it a little bit of a tweak that I could add in. I was really worried I wasn't going to be able to add in something like that before the very end of the story. When you were discerning realities in the barn, I was like, oh, cool, yeah, I can bring something in here and see if I can draw it out of them.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if it's Dungeon World or if it's you or if it's both, but I do feel immersed in the world. I mean, it seems like there's a lot of stuff out there, and maybe it's just the map or whatever, but I don't feel like I'm just in this little tiny section and everything else is unplanned. It feels like there's a world out there that we can explore, and that was really cool. And that's impressive to pull off in a one evening thing.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. All right. Well, how about you, Alistair? Or Alyssa, you want to go next?
Yeah, I can take it up.
Okay.
I had a thread of thought, and I lost it in the space of a second.
That sounds like me.
So it goes with me. I think of cool things to say, and then when it's time to say them, they just vanish.
Yeah.
Just write them in chat, and then
Even
if you don't hit enter, you'll have it.
Yeah. I really enjoyed it. Someone had said something that I wanted to hit on, but again, forgot. But
it's all right.
it's more my fault than yours. I genuinely enjoyed it. Like, this is a great group, and it was really fun. Just even before sitting down at the digital table, getting to just kind of bounce character ideas off with you guys.
Yeah.
I really enjoy the system here. Like, you've got a good amount of numbers. It's kind of D&D-ish, but it's off of that base. Like, it's so simplified that really, once you get the numbers down, it's just a breeze. And I like the whole simplified outcomes thing. That's great. And this was honestly just a really fun session, and even if it was just this, I would absolutely enjoy it. But I'm definitely excited to play Ursula again and play with you guys.
Cool. Right on. Anything that you think could be improved? Whether it's the system or maybe the style or whatever.
No, I'm digging this. Nothing really to complain about.
All right, cool. All right, on to you, Alistair. What do you got? I mean, this is maybe something a little bit different than what you're used to.
So, I mean, most of my experience has been like the CRPG kind of stuff where it's like, heavy numbers all the way. And I kind of enjoy getting into that kind of stuff. But I actually really, really enjoyed how flexible the system was and how organic and how it had that storytelling kind of flow and had enough numbers, to kind of give you an idea of what you can do and kind of, what you should aim for in a situation.
Right.
But it didn't really block anything, and it was just, I can use this to help me do stuff, and, it's going to be kind of like this, and, I love the way it's like, I failed a roll, tell me what interesting bad thing happens, so.
Yeah, I actually really love that about the fail state not kind of being a fail state.
It's like you do really well, you do fine, or something really cool happens.
Right.
It's like a jumping point off for more interesting story things to happen. So,
yeah, and the other thing too is that if we can, and maybe that's one kind of failing for me is that when I was bringing up that memory for you, Ursula, right now I can say Alyssa now. Sorry, when I was bringing up that memory of that nightmare. What I was hoping to do was actually kind of show the repercussion of the failure on your spout lore in such a way that it might throw you off in the future, that when you try and approach this topic, that memory may interfere. So we'll see what happens next session, how that comes into play.
I love the memory flashbacks. Those are really cool.
Yeah, that was fun.
Well, I like playing off of you guys. You guys have great ideas that I can kind of foster and grow and, water a little bit. So, Alistair, is there anything that you think maybe might be...
So that conversation, I took part in it a great deal, but near the end of it, I was really floundering for okay, so do we volunteer to go back outside and hunt down these goblin creatures and figure out where they're coming from, or do we stay inside and try to search out, I couldn't tell whether it was a stay inside and see what's going on in here, or if it was a go outside and hunt things there. And it was like, I don't know how to progress the conversation. I don't know. I kind of felt like I would have appreciated just a wee bit more shoving from you, and then it moved on, so it was fine. But I mean, otherwise,
you know what? I agree. I was kind of trepidatious about stomping on anybody who wanted to talk, and during the conversation, obviously, I'm spending a lot of time looking down here at the little windows here, trying to figure out. Okay, I want to make sure anybody who wants to speak is given a chance. So that's kind of my. That's more of a personal thing rather than a GM style, because I always want to hear what other people have to say, so it kind of bleeds into everything I do. So, but no, that's a great criticism, because and believe me, having written a bunch of stuff and begged for criticism and accepted the criticism, I'm used to it. So I totally love it. So if it's something that I can do better and help you guys immerse a little bit more, you'll benefit from it. Other players will benefit from it.
Otherwise, I've had a blast. This was amazing.
Cool.
So
I'm really glad. I'm super happy with how you guys have come together. My own favorite thing or things about this would be, one, how quickly you guys came together. Not even having met face to face before, aside from Alyssa and Brent. But not even having really met or interacted together in a meaningful manner in this realm with this particular group, and just throwing ideas out there. Justin coming up with some fantastic ideas for Omen. Brent, I know you've been super busy, with family and with work and with other commitments, and I'm so glad that you stuck it out and you just forged ahead to create this cool character. And you may think it's one-dimensional, but I will argue with you that he is not. And then Alistair, come on, this is not your first rodeo. It does not seem that way because of the amount of depth that you put into Falconian. And I'll add a criticism for myself. I didn't bring Wedge into this more than I should.
I kept thinking about him near the end. It was like, what could I do with him? And then it was like, I was just too busy doing other stuff.
Yeah,
I was thinking like, I could send him up to like circle up above the walls to see like if there's anything outside while I was running across the courtyard. But there's
always this danger of that with animal companions or with familiars, that sort of thing. I almost envision Alistair having this almost kind of like a clockwork type roost that just kind of like unfolds and locks into place, and then that's where Wedge can roost at night, like when he's asleep with you or something like that. You know, I don't know. I'm just throwing things out there. I want to make sure, hold my feet to the fire, make sure I keep him included in the game.
Okay.
And then Alyssa, what can I say? Jumping in and creating an entire religion for this world. Fantastic.
Awesome.
When the written material comes out for the source book on Southhold and the surrounding environs, you'll definitely, all of you will be getting huge credits for the stuff that you've put in. I say my criticism is definitely that conversation room. I definitely know that I could have done a lot better with that. I was so focused on trying to keep separate voices and separate intentionality for each of the characters. I gotta pare that down quite a bit.
It's not a problem. You were balancing the 4 of us and 3 different NPCs who have their own different hidden depths going on.
Multiple personality disorders.
It's a lot of personalities in your brain.
Yeah, I thought you did a great job with Tomas and Rowan and Malvinas. So the other 2 were.
I agree, maybe the conversation was a little long. But the characters, like I said, there's depth there. So
it was
cool.
I don't know what to think about it in a good way.
It only wandered off after Tomas left, and after we got done asking about like the watches, like right before the watches, and then like right after were the slow spots. Otherwise, it was fine.
That's when I should have like jumped in and said, "Okay, cool, let's move on to the next scene." And that's the other thing too is, even from the beginning parts of the game, I noticed that you guys were, as I had you describe your characters, I wanted to see what kind of depth you went into, and then as you guys were playing the game and working against these goblinoids, I knew there was going to be a little bit more depth there, so that's why I kind of I didn't want to cut things short too quickly. I was worried to do that, but in any case, lessons learned for next time. We'll get something scheduled. I definitely want to continue this, and we'll work together. Let's, we'll keep the messenger going, and then we'll keep the closed group going. If you guys want to create more of a history for yourselves, or even elements of the town or the environment around here, if you want to develop some stuff, let's do it. I'll throw it on the map. I don't care. It's creativity, and I love it.
I just had an idea. So the whole backstory with me and Falconian, there was a group of nomads.
Yeah.
So that's who was at the fire. That was some of the nomads.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's perfect. Totally perfect. Yes.
Nice.
I don't know how deep that can go, but
I'm gonna write that down. Hang on.
So it was the nomads were at the fire, and then that great hunt that came was what I was guiding people on.
Yeah, maybe the nomads weren't part of that necessarily. Like they were.
Yeah, that side of the group may not have been part of the hunt that you led.
Maybe
something different. But
that was a more normal.
But it could have been the same night. It could have been the same night. Like, you know how you have the party and everybody's having fun, but then things go sideways. Like, there's a point where, whether this was in your past or whatever, there's a point when a get together turns negative, turns south, turns weird, and things got weird. And Falconian went one way. Justin or Omen was kind of in the middle of it, witnessed a little bit of it, and then kind of went following Falconian on that direction. Like maybe that's kind of the brush with the weirdness, or maybe it was more. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Well, we went a little over. I was thinking we probably want to end around 8:30, 9 o'clock, but we went a little bit over. But that's okay. Well, at least it's 8:30, 9 o'clock my time. I know it's a much. Thanks a lot.
West Coaster.
Yeah, I know, right? Thanks a lot, you guys. I really appreciate all.
Yeah, thanks for prepping the game and running it. It was great.
Yeah, thank you. It was fun.
My pleasure.
I love the system. This was great.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, I will. Let me go ahead and close this down. Thanks everybody out there for watching, and we really appreciate your support. Get out there and play some more games. Try Dungeon World. It's $10 on DriveThruRPG. Give it a look. You can also find the rules online. We'll post a link in the show notes here that will lead you there, and you can find out more. We'll talk to you guys soon.